Hello fellow book nerds, Emmy Walker here to do a book review. Today's book is going to be Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas, and this is book 4 in the Throne of Glass series. I believe there are going to be a total of 6 of them, maybe 7. I feel like I read that there were 7 somewhere, but I might be thinking of a different series. Either way, this is not the last book. And this one I actually gave a 2 out of 5 stars. If you have seen any of my star ratings on any of the prior books, you've noticed I've given them all 5s, with the exception of The Assassin's Blade, which I gave a 4 out of 5 stars, but that is still a good rating. But yeah, so we'll get into why I gave this one a 2 now. Alright, so let me first start off by saying that this is going to be filled with spoilers. I don't know how to explain my 2-star rating without giving spoilers, so I apologize if you were hoping to hear a spoiler-free review, but sadly it's not going to be that. And if I want to vent the way that I want to vent, then I'm going to have to, ruin it all for you. So either be ruined or turn it off, but, there's that. When I initially closed the book, I immediately went onto Goodreads and put my rating on there, and it began as a 5-star rating. Then I kind of sat back and I was thinking about the book, and I was thinking how it wasn't as good as the previous books. So I went back on and I switched it to a 4-star. And by me doing that, it made me actually think, why did I feel that way? What was it about the book that made me want to demote it to the 4 stars? And the more and more I thought about it, the more and more I realized that this book was horrible in comparison to the other books. And it ended up with the 2-star rating that I finally gave it. My gut reaction when I first finished the book, the 5-star rating, I think was based mainly off the fact that, 1, I was done. It's a big book, and so it's kind of a weight off the shoulders to be done with a book, especially when you've been waiting for so long for a book. And also, I do enjoy the story itself. The plot of the story is really good. There's a lot involved. There's so much going on. And I know a lot of people don't like Manon, I'm not really sure how to say her name, but I think that she adds a fun element to it, and I enjoyed seeing her perspective, also from Island's perspective, and getting to see them kind of come together, and when they will come together, if they will come together, what they will do if they come together. And I have some thoughts about what I think is going to happen in the future. I do plan on reading the rest of them. I should say that now that I've, basically said it. But that was why I initially gave it a 5 stars, is because it is a good story. But what pushed it down to 2 stars was basically all the subplots and the fangirly obsession romance that went on throughout the entire story. So it's been over a year since I read Heir of Fire, so I rarely go back and reread books, I've said that before. But from what I remember, there was like a spark between Rowan and Selena, and I guess it's toward the end she was called Aylin. I'm not sure if it's pronounced Aylin or Aylin. I've always learned that the AE sound because in Latin it's pronounced I, so I always say Aylin and Idian and whatever. But so if I say Aylin, if that's wrong, I'm sorry. I think somewhere she actually posted what they all are supposed to sound like, but whatever. Anyway, off topic. So I read the Heir of Fire a year ago, right around the time when it came out, I think like 3 months after actually. But anyway, so I'm a little fuzzy on exactly how the relationship between Rowan and Aylin, how strong it was. I know that they did the blood oath, but I thought it was more of a companionship and more of a queen, protector type of relationship. And there was that kind of, spark between them that you kind of want to see them, kiss, but they shouldn't get together. But somehow, at the beginning of the Queen of Shadows, she is just obsessed with Rowan. Obsessed with him. She doesn't think of anything but him. She turns over and she has her hand on the empty mattress, or she'd wake up thinking about him. She's constantly thinking about him. That's all that really goes through her mind. Yeah, she will randomly be like, oh, Kale is doing this, or oh, the king is doing that, and Arabin is a turd. But for the most part, all she's thinking about is Rowan and how she can't wait to get back together with him. And then when he finally does appear on the scene, it's all about, oh, his shirt is off, and oh, he's so good looking, and oh, this and this and this and this. Shut up! Shut up! When did you become such a weepy little girl? I mean, Selena, while she drove me freaking nuts, I thought she was a snot and I wanted to punch her in the face. At least she had her priorities straight. It was about, stopping the king. Now she's all about, getting together with Rowan. And you know what? Shut up! And then, on top of the Rowan thing, I could go on forever with that. I feel like I could it just makes me so mad. But on top of that, we have her just sudden dismissal of Dorian. Dorian was supposed to be this great friend of hers, and evidently she said that she was going to come back for him. I have no recollection of her saying that I'm going to come back for you. But then the whole time she's talking about, I could kill him easily. That would be no problem for me. He deserves to die. It would be a mercy to kill him. And then when we get all the way to the end, and she's like, I told you I'd always come back for you. Are you serious? Are you freaking serious? You just spent the last 570 pages talking about how you would chop off his head, and then the second you find out that, oh, wait, he may still be in there, you didn't do any research, you didn't do anything you spent 10 seconds saying, oh, are you still in there? No, you're not? Okay, well, I'm gonna kill you then, and I'm not gonna feel any remorse for it? That seems like a true friend that you really came back for. Oh, yeah. This next part's not really a thing I hated about it, but I think I'll always want Island and Chaol to get together. I think that was what the original plan was supposed to be for the Throne of Glass, but then we were introduced to Rowan, and then the author decided to change her mind. It's like, no, I like them better together. So then what happens is we have Chaol and I think Nesrin is her name, and they just have this story, this like random backstory thrown in where they're like, oh yeah, we used to get together, and behind, alleys and whatever, but this relationship never existed. She made it up so that we would feel like, oh, you know what, Chaol, you're not going to be alone in the world. You don't have to be sad because, just because Island has Rowan, it's okay because you have Nesrin and things are going to be okay. Bull's pizzle. I mean, really? I mean, you think we're all that stupid? We're not that stupid. Now, I wanted Selena, Island, and Rowan to get together in Air of Fire. I thought it was fun, but not for a full-term relationship. I never thought that they should go beyond having, like, one sordid night where they remember fondly, in their future. I always thought that she should get together with Chaol. I thought he was a very stabilizing influence in her life. I mean, she had so many horrible things happen to her with the loss of Sam and the way that Arobynn treated her and the fact that she was torn away from her family originally. She had a lot of things bad that have happened to her, and I felt that Chaol was a good person to kind of keep her grounded and keep her, I don't know, a human, and I guess. And I understand the whole, Rowan's Fae and she's half Fae, and so they can kind of keep up with each other, so I liked that aspect, but I never really thought that she should be with Rowan. And especially after seeing Rowan in The Queen of Shadows, I felt like he became this weepy, island-obsessed crybaby, and he was constantly like, oh, I don't know whether I should be with her, I want to be with her, but she's my queen, and I'm gonna rip my pants off, and shut up, Rowan. Like, you became a turd, and nobody wants to see you as a turd. We want to see you as the badass who was kicking Island's butt all throughout Air of Fire. That's what we want to see. Nobody wants to see your little weepy whining butthead. But yeah, in the end, Chaol was supposed to be the one who made her love after Sam, the one who opened her heart back up to that experience. And Rowan was supposed to be her protector, not the person who, I'm gonna throw up my mouth a little bit here, but makes her moan. I hate the word moan, I'm sorry, but there's a part in there he's like, oh, I almost shut the book at that line right there. If it weren't for the fact that I love the series, I probably would have, but I hated. I can't remember the exact line, but it says something like, when I make you moan. And I'm like, oh, God. But yeah, so I just, ugh. And finally, my issues with the Queen of Shadows comes down to the death of Arobynn. First of all, Selena, Island, isn't even the one who kills him. The one who kills him? Lysandra, the girl who has suddenly made an appearance in Island's life, and they're now best friends, and she's oh so conveniently a shapeshifter. Good for you. What does she do to him? They're sleeping in bed, she gets a knife, and she slits his throat. That's how the king, the great king of assassins, is murdered. That's how he's killed. His final parting, like, kick you in the butt thing is that he has Lysandra, taken away, which they end up getting her back within 2 chapters, not even. Like, that is how the king of assassins, this guy who's been a thorn in Selena's side for pretty much her, since she was, 10 years old or something like that? That's how he dies. Doesn't seem like he's really that great. I mean, you think he would have sensed something? No, you wouldn't, sense her movement, realize she's not awake. I feel like a master assassin would. So my tape was full and I didn't realize it, so it cut me off halfway through, so I'm having a hard time remembering exactly what I was talking about right when it broke up. I know I was talking about Arobynn's death, but basically that was what I was irritated with, is the fact that this great king of assassins wouldn't have been killed so easily. He would have understood that she was awake. He would have understood that Lysandra was awake, and that, you know, somebody would understand, somebody who's a master assassin would understand the difference between awake breathing and sleeping breathing. It's a much deeper sound, and he would know that. He would know those things. He wouldn't have fallen asleep with her until I mean, I feel like, I just felt like it was too easy. It was way too easy, especially after all the build up of us wanting him to be killed, certainly, but so easily, and then to be done by somebody who, it blows my mind, and I was really disappointed in that. All that being said, I will continue on with the next book. If it proves not to be quite so fangirly, I will, you know, proceed with the rest of the series, but if it's just as, you know, nauseating as Queen of Shadows, I will have to, I think, put an end to it. But we'll see. I mean, maybe the story itself will keep me going. That's what's keeping me going at this point. We'll see. And plus the fact that I've had such a great experience with the other 3 books in the series. I feel like I wish I would have just kind of closed it at, you know, Crown of Midnight, because I felt like that was a good close. Not that I didn't like Air of Fire, but you kind of need to continue after that point. Oh yes, and there was also my pet book peeve, one of my pet book peeves, not my biggest, but one of my pet book peeves is when you put the title of the book, Queen of Shadows, in a line, in a sentence in the book, and it was in there, and that kind of irks me. It's annoying, but that, again, it's not something that's going to demote a star, but something I thought I should mention at least. Well, there you have it, my take on Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. I do not intend to turn any of you readers away. I urge you to read the books and continue the series. See what, you know, how you feel for it yourself if you have not read it. I really hope you haven't read it yet, because I just had a whole bunch of spoilers in this past video. But if you have read it and you are feeling discouraged, you know, based on things that I said, or if you agree with me and you're still feeling discouraged based on your own thoughts, I still think you should continue the series. Give her a chance. Maybe she'll notch it up in the next book. But as I said, if it continues on this way, I will join you in the closing this series chapter. Anyway, so don't forget to write down below if you agree with me about this book, if you've also read it, or if you think I am completely out of my mind. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Alright, see you later, book nerds!